Like a phoenix rising from its ashes, we have the glorious return of GSC Game World. For those that don't know, GSC was a developer and publisher based out of Ukraine, most famously known for developing one of my favorite games of all time, Stalker: Shadow of Chernobyl. Probably one of my favorite post-apocalyptic games ever made. But today we ain't talking about Stalker. Whoa, wait, what? We're not? That's right. Today we are actually going to talk about a little game called Cossacks 3. Cossacks 3 is a real-time strategy game set in the 17th and 18th century. Cossacks, along with the series called American Conquest, are some of the first games that GSC ever developed. Cossacks would most closely be comparable to the former Ensemble Studios' Age of Empires, a classic RTS. You have workers, you have them build buildings, chop wood, work the mine, grow crops, and general resource collection. With your legion of peasants as your backbone, you create navies and armies to vie for control of Europa. There are a few ways that Cossacks historically differs from other real-time strategy games. One of them is that it primarily focuses and only takes place within the 17th and 18th centuries. It has a slew of factions ranging from England, France, Prussia, Poland, Sweden, Russia, Algeria, and a whole lot more. But the real difference that differentiates Cossacks from similar games is a sort of regimental system. When you eventually construct a bajillion guys to go and destroy your enemies, you can actually group them together into regiments, starting as small as 36 and growing them to over 190. With it, you get to witness one of the most satisfying aspects, which is watching whole regiments of construction move in perfect ranks. It's very pleasing to the eye. Though you'll enjoy seeing your regiments, you'll rue the day when they get into actual combat, because once they do, they'll immediately break rank and turn into one giant bloody mess. Which brings us to one of the two largest issues with Cossacks 3, and it's the AI. Friendly AI, as I said, will almost immediately break rank when thrusted into close combat, almost like a Total War game. It can be frustrating when it happens, as usually I'll have a plan that calls for a complex, multifaceted offensive, but then you'll witness it immediately devolve into a giant meat grinder, so really just throw out your goddamn plans out the window. And then on the other hand, the enemy AI can be absolutely relentless, even on the lowest of difficulties. The AI with inhuman timing can start recruitment, move peasants to gather resources, and build additional buildings all within the first second of the game. So if you aren't on the top of your game constantly advancing yourself, you'll be easily overrun with hundreds of hired mercenaries before you know it. Now for someone like myself who's used to this sort of AI behavior, I find it nostalgic. I haven't experienced having my ass handed to me by a cheap AI in a strategy game in a while, so to have it happen to me is actually kind of heartwarming. And that weird sense of nostalgia is really what Cossacks 3 is going for. It feels like an RTS from 2003 went into a time machine and just appeared in 2016. It has all the classic gameplay worker placement systems of games of yore. If you remember those games fondly, Cossacks 3 is going to take you back. Now while it plays like a game from the early 2000s, unfortunately it also looks like it. While the presentation for Cossacks 3 isn't downright terrible, it's just dated. Don't expect any crazy lighting or particle effects, just good old low poly models. The music on the other hand is serviceable and will get you through many hours of rounding up Polacks and decisive meat grinder battles. Apart from the evil ass AI, all you have to worry about with Cossacks 3 is the occasional crash. Most of the crashes that I experienced occurred when I was in a large several hundred unit engagement, but I have experienced them when nothing at all was happening. But there definitely needs to be some improvement, which should come out in patches hopefully. In the end, Cossacks 3 is a fantastic return to form when it comes to real-time strategy games. While troubled in some areas, it delivers what it set out to do, and that is to bring back the classic RTS experience. Best of all is that this is all provided at the humble price of $20. But to be real with you fellas, personally I'm just happy to see GSC's back to making games, and hopefully with success, we'll see the return of something much more grand. But anyway, back to Cossacks 3. Overall, I give Cossacks 3 a 7 out of 10. Small, humble, and classic, GSC successfully brought back a timeless classic. If you love classic real-time strategy games, I would highly recommend that you pick up and support a great developer. And with that, this is Tom the Chosen One slaughtering red coats at an unprecedented speed, and I'll see you guys next time.